program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is Andrew Branson. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, dude?
Man, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, dude, it was really cool to meet you, dude. We met a couple weeks ago at a show you were doing.
Yeah, that was a great time, man. And at the Sherwood Lounge, a place that I've grown to love a whole lot. And we're going to talk about that because now you're playing a show there as well. But before we get into all that, kind of want to just give you the floor here at the beginning, let you tell our crowd a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we'll pick it up and talk about the show coming up.
Okay, what up? I'm Andrew Branson. I do stand-up comedy. I've been doing it for about 3 years now. I also kind of write music and I do stuff here and there with my musical buddies on the side, but mainly do stand-up. And that's how I met Bubba right here, going to Sherwood Lounge. And he was doing a show, and I was just having the best time, giving the best energy, hooting and hollering, just yelling out, and then like best catalog. He was playing Sublime. He was playing you played what's that song? Tennessee Whiskey. That was such a good time. Yeah, the way you moved the bar was really cool. Like everyone is just like stopped what they're doing and just focused on you. You're very talented. You're amazing.
Oh,
But yeah, sorry, man. I do stand up comedy, and I met you at the Sherwood Lounge while you were doing your show, and we just had such a good interaction. And yeah, you ended up inviting me on stage at the end of the show to do. You told me to pick a song, and I was like, sure, I'll do "Good Riddance," "The Time of Your Life" by Green Day. Did that, and then ended up doing 5 minutes at the end of the show of stand-up comedy, and the bar really liked it. So I asked them if I could do a show there next month, and they said, yeah, we can do it. So that's coming up.
and that is such a full circle moment. It's exactly why I invited you up there, right? You know, we were vibing, you and your friends were in the bar all night, you know, like you said, hooting and hollering. You made it fun for us to perform, right? Because while we had a few people that were really engaging. Sometimes you play those shows, and I know that you know this as a performer yourself, that like when there's no energy coming back at you, man, it can get very hard to sit up there and perform. So as kind of a thank you to you, as we were talking outside, and you know, you had mentioned you do stand up, but also that you performed. And I really I thought it would be a great introduction, have you come up and sing a song with us, knowing that, especially with the guys that I had playing with me that night, shout out to Paul and, you know, to Lance as well, playing that night. And we had such a good time that it was can't miss. Bringing you up for a song was a great introduction to say, hey, all right, now you like him already. Now he's going to give you 5 minutes of comedy. And it kind of sets you up in a thing where you couldn't, I mean, you would have had to been really, really bad to fail, right? And you weren't. You were good. And people thought it was funny. And the bartender obviously thought it was great. You know, Colleen wasn't there any longer. Shout out to Colleen, the owner of the Sherwood Lounge, who is just the sweetest lady and has been so good to me going up there. As someone coming from 5 hours away, sometimes it's hard to get a bar to, you know, believe in you. And we've never brought in like a massive crowd, but we've always done very well with the crowd that is there. And that's kind of the vibe of that place, right? To me, I use the term townie bar in a very affectionate way, right? Like it is a quintessential townie bar. It is for the people that live in that neighborhood. It is their space, right? It's their living room and where they see their friends and they play some pool or darts or they watch the game. Like it's that space. And we're able to come in and entertain that crowd for a little while. And I was really happy to hear that you had booked a show there and you're bringing something different to that little area of St. Paul that they probably don't get a lot of.
Yeah. So like, Colleen's I've only been to this bar. I don't. That was the first time I ever went to that bar when I met you. And my friend Jessie had showed me that bar because she was like, we were gonna go watch football, and her brother coaches the Northwestern football team. So we were like, I'm just gonna go to this bar, watch a football game, and then we ended up spontaneously like seeing your band, and it was just like we had such a great time, and that's how we made the connection. And it was the first thing I noticed, and I had been there maybe a couple times since then, maybe like 4 or 5 times since then. Uh, I've same faces. You see very similar faces, but you see different faces, and and at the same time, there's a pretty big crowd of regulars that go there. They got a really big regular crowd that like goes in and out of there. And I heard from Greg, the person who's setting up this comedy show with me there, uh, they haven't seen comedy there in like 14, 15 years. So I talked to some of the people after we set up this deal. I talked to some of the regulars, and they seem really excited about it. They seem like, oh, we haven't seen one of these here in a long time. Uh, it's been like 12 years, and I corrected them. I was like, it's been 15 years. That's what he said to me. I can't believe it's been 15 years, and it's just far enough out of the downtown area where it has that dive bar feel. It has that hometown kind of bar feel, and like it's a lot of the comedians I'm bringing out to these shows are comedians that are like me that have been doing it for either like a couple years, a few years, and then also I'm bringing one person who is very very new, literally just started doing it this year, and I think they're amazing, and I want to give them more time. That's what the challenge of this show is. That's what the deal is with this show is that I'm bringing stand up comedy that is not in 3 to 5 minute clips. I'm bringing stand up comedians to do 15, 20 minutes, and I'm showing 5 comedians at a time, myself included. So you're getting an hour and a half of comedy, maybe a little bit more of comedy, and these comedians are flexing the time that they need to do because they don't get that opportunity. And has like that real kind of middle of Minnesota feel to it that like these downtown comedians haven't had an opportunity to feel. And this bar hasn't had comedians in 15 years. I think it's a perfect opportunity.
Which is wild because I think it has a pretty good setup for comedy, right? You're kind of back and the rooms aren't separated, but you're in the back there. It's a smallish stage, right?
Absolutely. Low ceilings with a low stage, but it's a wide stage. So like you can do a good amount on this stage. I implore anyone that hears this to go check out the Sherwood Lounge, even for comedy or music, because I think it's going to be a great time. And I think they might even offer me to come back for a monthly thing. So we'll be continued with that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good time. All the
It's going to
comedians
be it's going
are
to be pretty awesome, man. I wish I was going to be up there for the show and able to see you guys doing your thing, but I know I'm going to have a lot more opportunities to do that. I think it's going to be a hit. I'm really excited that you got the opportunity to go back there and to do it. Can you talk a little bit about a few of the comedians that you're bringing and kind of what people can expect from the night that aren't necessarily familiar with the comedy show?
So the layout of this comedy show that I'm doing, right? I'm gonna open with myself. I'm doing about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna bring up the next comedian who's gonna do 15, another 15, another 15, and then we're closing out with a headliner that does about 20 to 25 minutes. So and like give or take, I could have another like guest spot, another comedian that I really like. I'm gonna give another comedian, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes as well. So that's why the show could run between an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I just with the system I have, people can RSVP on the little scan thing, so they can. It shows me how many tickets I'm actually getting. So if there's a poster that he might pull up or something like that, but also a link at the bottom that you guys can look at. It'll bring you to the event page, and you can get a ticket for free, and that just shows me who's all coming. But it's a completely free event, and you just come to Colleen's at Sherwood Lounge and have a great time. But so all the comedians that are going on it, Sam 14, great comedian. He's been doing it for a handful of years. He's a New York guy. He flew. He's been living in Minnesota for a few years, and he started doing it a lot in Duluth. He came down about 2 years ago, and he's been my first friend in the comedy scene, and he's really, really funny. He's electric when it comes to crowd work. Uh, he's really bombastic. He'll get in your face type of comedy. Like it's kind of like the big energy that like I really want to bring to this little bar. Like the first person I really thought of was like, ooh, I need to bring Sam 14. And then who else? I'm bringing my friend, one of my closest buddies, Joe Attic Johnson. Joe Attic Johnson. I was there for his first open mic. This was about 3 years ago as well. Uh, Everyone's energy just gravitated to him because he had so much energy right away. And there's not that many people where you see their first open mic, and then like I witnessed his first open mic, and I was like, wow, you are amazing. And he's just built up his energy, his stage performance so much. That is a performer you guys have to check out in the scene is Joe Attic Johnson. Uh, who else do I got? So we're gonna backtrack a little bit. The person who showed me Colleen's at Sherwood Lounge is my friend, my new friend, Jesse S. Jesse S. just started doing stand up in the middle of the summer, and she was just going to the Terminal Bar. Shout out the Terminal Bar, another great comedy spot that does comedy on Thursday nights from 7 o'clock to about 1 in the morning every Thursday. Go check that out in Northeast. Uh, she started going there in like the middle of the summer, Jessie S. And I immediately took a liking to her because she was writing new material for every single set she did. Every time I saw her, she had a new 5 minutes. Every time I saw her, she was doing a new 5 minutes, which was consistent for about every week for like 2 months, 3 months. And I thought that was really cool. And not that many people can consistently write new material for every 5 minutes. And I thought that was really cool. So I'm like, I'm trying to give you the opportunity to do 15 minutes. Just like I said earlier, giving people the opportunity to do more time in the scene when all they've really been given is 5 minutes at a time, you know?
Right, because especially in comedy, I mean, it's hard to hold a crowd sometimes for 5 to 10 minutes. So the way that a lot of, or 15 or 20 minutes, it's definitely hard to do that. But so a lot of, I want to say, other promoters or, people that are putting together comedy shows tend to give you shorter sets, especially for people that are just starting out. But how are you ever going to know if you're capable of that if you don't get an opportunity to do it, right? Like you don't want to spend years and years and years like only working on a tight 5 minutes or a tight 10 minutes. You have to be able to stretch your, spread your wings a little bit and stretch that out and to learn in that. So I really love that you're kind of giving an opportunity to some of your friends and some of these other people that are kind of just starting out to go out there. And I think there's always a possibility that it bombs. I think that's just part of comedy, right? That like it could be a great set. But I also know that from listening to Joe Rogan, from watching, Kill Tony for years now, which is probably a big reason why when you said, hey, I do comedy, that I don't, you didn't even ask me if you could do a set. I was like, oh, I'm going to get you up there, right? Because I've seen that it matters. Like the comedians need that stage time as much as musicians do. As long as I've been a musician, I've been running open mics and getting other musicians up there to do their thing. And it just felt natural. And I don't, when someone tells me that they do something, I assume that you do it well enough to be confident in the fact that you told me you do it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's always that chance that somebody might say, hey, well, if I put you up there for 5 minutes, are you going to chase everyone out of the bar? Right. And you didn't. I thought people loved it. It was totally unexpected. And I suspect that these people that you're bringing in, they're not first timers, but they're still very early in their careers. And I can't think of a better place as like an incubator for that kind of comedy scene than the Sherwood Lounge as well, because of the vibe we've been talking about there.
And I'll continue about the comedians I'm bringing on because I think there's two more I need to touch base with. But yeah, so Sam 14, I'll start the beginning of the list again. Sam 14 gave me my first opportunity of doing 15 to 20 minutes for a show. He knew a headliner from New York City that came out to Hastings, booked a show at a brewery, and he needed a middle act. And Sam was one of my first friends, and he gave me the opportunity to have that what we're talking about. So I was like, I need to return the favor. Sam is one of my best friends, and he is so funny. I knew he was gonna jump at this opportunity. So contacted Sam 14, and he's on the show. Joe Addict, one of my other best friends in the scene, he has given me he's hosted shows with me before. He's a great host. I actually might ask him to host some of these from time to time, see if I can throw in like 20 minutes here and there on the show, if it continues. Jesse S. Jesse S. And then who else? Phil Colas. Phil Colas is another one of my best friends in the scene. He's just a really good guy. He's a really cool guy. He's a veteran of the scene. I feel like I'm not sure how many years he's been doing it, but I know he's been doing it more than me. He's been doing it like 5+ more years, maybe 10 years. He is one of those guys that you always call upon. When I asked him to do this show, he laughed and he goes, when anyone starts doing their first show, they always ask me. And I'm like, Phil Colas, I love you. Every time I see Phil Colas at a mic, I'll look across and I'll be like, Phil Colas. And he'll look at me and be like, Andrew Branson. Like, it just doesn't matter where we are. It's just always like that. And I've actually ran into him at least one or two other times, like not comedy related, and just been like, Phil Colas. And he'll just yell into the ether, Andrew Branson. And then he'll look at me and find me. He's a good guy. He's like Minneapolis's sweetheart in the comedy scene. That's what I'd say.
So a lot of these people that you're having on, it seems like, that some of them gave you opportunities when you were just starting out and you're kind of repaying the favor, but you're also kind of like reaching down, right? And bringing up some other artists and paying it forward at the same time. I think that's really cool.
That's what you got to do, man. You got to give everyone opportunities. You got to give all the new people opportunities, and the people who like are tried and true that are going to do well at these types of shows. You got to bring those people in because you want to have a good show. You want to bring someone that is like does well at open mics, at clubs, at bars, at real shows. You want to bring people like that, but then you also want to like nudge people a little bit, push people in the right direction of like, hey friend, hey brother, like I'm pushing you in the right direction because I'm giving, like, you need this. And yeah, people will find their own drive. I believe like people will find their own drive to do their own thing, but give them the taste a little bit. Give them the taste. And so this is the headliner we're bringing on the show. The headliner is another one of my good buddies, Matt Grady. Matt Grady has been doing comedy for I think about 10 years as well. I was on a show with him in northern Minnesota a few months ago, and we camped out. He was my camping buddy, and we went fishing, and we were kayaking. It was the best time. And then like it was just like the coolest time. And he did like 15-20 minutes of like 15 minutes of straight crowd work, and then 10-15 minutes of another material. And he was on stage for like 40 minutes to like a little over a half hour to about 40 minutes. And it was like, wow, dude, you're just like, you're connecting with the bar, having such a good time. And I'm like, I wanted to give Matt Grady that opportunity again to do that, because the way I saw him connect with the crowd is I want Sherwood Lounge to connect with the comedians that I'm bringing there, because it's just gonna be a really great time. And I think the lineup I got is really special, especially for the first show that I bring there. The lineup that you're showing, like the backdrop, I don't know if the people will see this, but like that's the first poster I ever made. It looks like a child made it.
But we all got to start somewhere, Andrew. And I think it's really cool. And the first thing that I told you, when I saw you shared the show, is like, way to capitalize on that moment. Like, that's why I gave you the opportunity when the band was playing there to like, okay, you say you do comedy, prove it. Right. Because I knew that, especially that bar and my relationship with them. And it's the same reason, we had JMO up there playing with us, and not that he hasn't played there before, but as a reminder, like, hey, don't forget, this guy's in your backyard. Like, I'm coming from out of town, but these people are right here, and they can actually bring some people in here that haven't seen this bar before and haven't hung out. And I think a lot of people, especially Midwestern kids like us, it's hard not to like that space, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the drinks are affordable where you don't get that downtown. They're bringing in bands. They're bringing in different things to try and entertain not just the crowd that they have, but to supply something where maybe people will come out from there. And I know that area of St. Paul isn't like the hot spot, right? All the way out on White Bear. It's not where the young people are going to be seen by their friends and to look cool, but it's definitely for people that know they're cool to just go hang out, right?
No, yeah, that's just like that's exactly how it is. Like I went there on a whim to go watch football with a friend, and we ended up seeing you guys and had the best time. And sorry, I keep stuttering. These are the types of nights that you have, or like these are the types of like times you have when you like go out there and you go do something that like maybe you're not used to doing, or you don't usually you do spontaneous things, and then you meet great people, involve yourself in great opportunities. Life just smacks you with opportunities. Do you grasp on it? Do you take opportunity? Do you like grab life by the balls, and do you like hone in your opportunity, you hone in your skills, or you just like like I don't know. I like to have fun. I had a great time that night. It was a great time. I didn't try to stress out too much. I'll tell you about this. So like, you were like, yeah, you were giving me props for capitalizing on the opportunity, not only for uh, getting the show booked, but for also doing stand up when you were just like, yeah, get up here and do time. And I'm like, okay, I don't. I will say this. I was given an opportunity like this similar, and it's either you sink or swim. This is and I've always lived by this, and I will say this on the first podcast that I've ever been on, because this is the first podcast. I'll probably put this on a T-shirt at some point. Is believe to achieve, and you gotta believe to achieve. You can't achieve without believing. But if you believe repetitively enough, then achieving just comes naturally. So the whole point is just like one word, one thing: believe and achieve. I think about that, and I've thought about that for years, just because I'm a skateboarder. I've been skateboarding as well since I was like a little kid. And like when you're trying to do something new, something scary, believe and achieve. I was given the opportunity to do 7 minutes for a sold out crowd at the State Theater in Minneapolis. That's like 2,100 people, and I did it. I did it, and I had a great time. And it was for Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee for the Bad Friends show.
Dude,
Uh,
that's incredible, man.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I was only like 11 months into stand up, which was like I don't know, like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. This month, the 30th this month, it'll be 2 years ago. Like that.
Man, a moment like that will keep you going for years, right? Because
Yeah,
because
was
it,
fun.
it may take you a decade to build up to where you're, you know what I mean? You're back to that point. Hopefully it's not that long, but
It was,
I've played as a musician. I played in front of some big crowds. Now I didn't bring them there, but those moments keep me pushing through. Maybe some of the gigs that are. I mean, I think a lot of people would look at even a show like the Sherwood that we did. There wasn't that many people there. There's maybe 40, 50 people throughout the night. It's small, not a ton of people. Um, but that was one of the most fun gigs I played the entire year, right?
mm-hmm.
Because there
Oh,
was 5 or 6 people, right? That was pretty much like your table and another group of people that were just vibing, and they were all about it. And everybody else like didn't not like it. They're just kind of in their own thing. They're hanging out, doing whatever.
our
But
vibes.
those moments keep you going.
Those moments are exactly what keep you going. And like what you were saying, like at the State Theater, like that was a well established famous person giving me an opportunity, and I swam. I did not sink. And there was moments where like uh the sea of laughters like in that whole place was like, this is so cool. They gave me an opportunity and I capitalized on it. I want to be able to give other people opportunities like this in the future if I
How
ever get.
did that come about? I'm a huge fan of Santino, right? I listen to his Whiskey Gin, and not as much these days as I used to, but when I was working full time, I would listen to his podcast all the time. So how did that come about? Very cool, man. That's awesome.
So I got meet and greet tickets to the Bad Friends tour with my cousin, and we go in line, and in the meet and greet line, we meet them, and I was like, "Hey guys, I just wanted to tell you to Bobby Lee and Andy Santino. I'm like, I'm a big fan of both you guys' careers since like Bobby. I was a little kid, like a 4-year-old kid watching Mad TV, and Andrew Santino. I said, Dave is really funny right now, but I'm a real big fan of I'm dying up here. I thought the show I'm dying up here is really underrated, and I was really sad that only got one season of it. And he was like, they were both like, wow, thank you. I'm like, I'm also a stand-up comedian, and I've been doing it for like 11 months. And then Bobby immediately like perked his head up, like he was like kind of like he wasn't paying attention. But then when I said I'm a stand-up comedian, he like, like a dog, like he really started like looking at me. So he's like, wait, you do stand-up, Bobby? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, how long have you been doing it? I'm like, 11 months. And Bobby's like, how many sets have you done this year? And I'm like, I don't know, over like 70, maybe 60-ish. I lost track. I've been doing it like 4 or 5 times a week for, I don't know, every week this
So
year.
you were grinding early on.
Yeah, I was grinding a lot early on. And, you see that in people that like catch the comedy bug. And, that's kind of a trait. Like if you do it a little bit here and there, or you catch the comedy bug and you just go hard on it for a long time. So they're like, that's awesome. How much time can you do? And I'm like, about 15, 20 minutes easily. And then they're like, cool. Do you want to do some time tonight? And no hesitation. I was like, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so later on in the show, they were doing like a talent show thing. So like it was a bit that they were doing throughout their whole tour. They were like,
Okay. Okay.
they were asking people, when you sat down in the tour in the, for the show, the big screen comes down and there's like a scan code. You scan the scan code and it's like talent show for later in the show. Put your name and put your talent, put your email, phone number, blah, 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 and you sign up for it. But they told me about it in the meet and greet, which was before the show. So I knew about it beforehand. And they go, hey, we're going to do a talent show later in the show. And we want you to sign up, but we're already going to call your name. We're already going to call your name and we're going to have you up. So you already like you've
Yeah,
already.
sign up, but when we see your name, you're coming up.
Yeah, or like we're just gonna remember your name and we're just gonna call you up. And so what happened was I was one of the first people who signed up in the thousands of people that were there. So my name got buried under the 2,100, 2,200 people that were there. And so they go through their show. Like Andrew does 20 minutes, Bobby does 20 minutes, Jesse Jetski does 20 minutes, and then they
I
do like
love Jesse Jetski Johnson, dude.
she's the best. But so and then they started doing some like comedy uh, podcast bits where they were doing like table reads with fans for like like movie reads from like scenes, and I was like, ooh, I would have been really cool to be in that, but I was not. Uh, so I ended up doing they ended up calling up names. They were like, all right, we're gonna do a talent show. We have this list of people, and they started up calling up random names, and then they called up the first name, which was a fat. His talent was he was fat and he could do a cartwheel, but he wasn't that fat. So I was like, in the back, I was like, boo! You're like you look like my brother. You're not even that fat, dude. You're like 6'2", fucking like 210 pounds. What is that?
That's what I weigh. Wait a minute.
Yeah. What the hell? But no, then the other guy was he was like yeah, I can beatbox, and he was like a fatter guy. And the guy that
You're like, get him to do a cartwheel.
and he was like, yeah, I can beatbox, but he couldn't really beatbox. It was really basic shit, like. And I was like, okay, cool. That's just like so basic. And then after they called up those two, they were like, all right, we already have one picked out. So we met someone in the meet and greet line, and his name's Andrew. He's a stand-up comedian in Minneapolis. Andrew, are you here? And I was in the nosebleeds. I was in like the balcony of the State Theater in the far back, and I was like, I'm here, and like spotlight pans back all the way to me. It was very comical. And the meet and greet was on the stage, so I already knew how to get down there from the nosebleeds. So like it was like, I'm here, and then like spotlight like pans on me.
Like, 4.5 minutes later, Andrew makes his way to the stage.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I had to go down the first pew, around the corner, down the stairs, around the stage, get through the stage, and like everyone in the front like floor section just watched me go like.
So epic, man. Oh my goodness. What an experience, dude.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a good time. And then like I did about
And
5 minutes.
everybody else in front of you kind of sucked. So people were ready for someone to be like kind of, if you were just like kind of good, you were going to get a lot of love, right?
It was pretty. It was. I think I was pretty good. I mean, I had a few jokes that were like really popping, and that was like the first good 15 minutes that I wrote in my career so far. And there was a couple jokes. There's one joke particularly that like I said, and then it delayed laugh, and then it had a laugh, and then the laugh waved across the entire crowd. It went. And then that's a thing, and I was like, "Whoa, that was weird," because like my head was following it, and I had to say something about it. I was like, "That was crazy." I've never been in a big enough room where like I could follow the wave like the laugh like a wave, and like that's the thing about Minnesota. Is Minnesota is known. Doesn't matter where you're at a theater or a comedy show. It is just known throughout the whole nation that Minnesotans laugh like. So like if you can make. They'll stop immediately, straight face, and like that's just like what you gotta like hone that for comedy. Know that, understand that, and like see how many like jokes you can rattle off quickly that can make them do that. Because like in other states, you can like make people laugh and they'll like coast down, but like in a theater, it'll still be like, it's ridiculous. And like when you start noticing that about Minnesotans, and you do shows in different states, and you like maybe you have a joke in between a couple songs or something like that. It's just it's just funny, and that's a trope that like you hear about through doing comedy, and then you experience it. But I'm from Minnesota, so I'm like dealing with it as I'm getting better doing comedy. So I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. So
Yeah, man. It's so that's just so epic, dude. I love that that happened for you. And you're continuing this tradition of getting people up and giving them an opportunity. And it makes me even more proud of myself that I kind of saw you and gave you that opportunity, and to see where it's gone to now has just been, it's been really cool, man. I'm really enjoying watching what you know, what you will continue to do here, and continue to grow. So we've had the flyer up there. Everybody's seen it. We got the QR code. We ran the banners, so everybody knows to follow Andrew Branson Comedy on all social media platforms. I'm going to put a link over on the website as well, so people will be able to see it at thesceneprojects.com and check this out. Andrew, thank you so much for being on the show today, man, and really taking advantage of the opportunity that you got, and then paying it forward to a lot of other great people too, dude. Congrats to you, and wish you nothing but the best of luck.
oh, thanks, Bubba. I appreciate you. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's all I want to be about in the comedy scene is like giving it forward, like paying it forward, because like these people you gotta give everyone opportunities to shine. And there need with the recent closing of Comedy Corner Underground, it's gonna reopen soon. But I feel like there needs to be more opportunities for comedians to shine. There needs to be more comedy. There needs to be more laughs in this world. And please come out to Sherwood Lounge December 10th, Wednesday. It's going to be a great time. Come have some laughs for free with great comedians.
Awesome. Well, Andrew, thanks for so much for spending a little bit of time with me today, and thanks for being part of the scene.
Thanks, Bubba. Have a good one.